Genial. Gracias por acompañarnos, Sebastián. Em, la idea acá es, and I'm gonna switch to English, learn a little bit more about yourself, Ruedata, and we can start with just that. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, and especially we can start with life before Ruedata existed.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So thanks, Andres, for the invitation. I'm Sebastián Baquero. I'm the CEO of Ruedata. I'm from Colombia. I'm 34 years old. I live in Mexico City. I love entrepreneurship. I born in an entrepreneurship family, so I know the roller coaster of being an entrepreneur since I was very young, having really good moments and also really bad moments, but all together in family. Also, I believe, Andres, that entrepreneurship is one of the best way to change how the society is doing here in Latin America. I think that is the best way to improve the lives of people here in Latin America. And entrepreneurship and technology is the best way to do it. So pretty happy to be in this industry. I study economics, business management, and before Ruedata is pretty funny because I used to import tires, so most of my working experience is related with tires. But before that, my family, my dad used to import things from China, so I helped them to import things from since I was very young. I studied Chinese in Beijing and also did my exchange in Macau. So uh, since I was very young, also work in their shops, selling like technology things since I was very young, also helping them to carry things from containers to the workshop. But that's a little bit about myself. I love to play football. It's like
Where was all this in Bogota? Whereabouts were you at that time?
I was in Bogota. I was in Bogota. My first business we launched it with Jorge, who is still been my co-founder in Colombia, in Bogota, even though I met him when we were doing the exchange in Macau, in China. We were roomies, but yeah, I born in Bogota. I love that city. I love also Millonarios. That is the the soccer team from Bogota. There's like two teams in Bogota, Santa Fe and Millonarios, and I am a fan of Millonarios. And I used to play football in when I was like 12, 13, 14 years in the team of Millonarios in the Bogota league.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. And so then how do you transition to, I know you had another startup
Yes,
before
Andres. Yes, yes.
that.
I used to help my dad to import things, any kind of things. We used to import like advertisement material, karaoke's, keyboards, speakers, any kind of technology, like hardware technology that was very commonly at that time before the laptops. And my dad, when I was doing the exchange my dad told me that there was a business opportunity to import tires from a US company that has a factory close to Qingdao. So what I used to do is look those factories in Alibaba, write them, visiting them, as I used to speak Chinese, so the relationship was very easy with them. And I tried to convince them to sell their tires to us, but they didn't. They already have one sole distributor. But after insisting, right now I'm pretty aware that I insist a lot and I am very persistent. After 7 months, they called me and they give us a new brand to distribute it in Colombia. So I was very happy. I called my dad. My dad told me that the opportunity was over, but he congratulates me. But George, he was my roomie. We were almost like brothers. We live in a small room in Macau, and I knew that his family has transportation businesses. He used to work to those companies. Also, he has like company businesses in with passenger buses, with trucking. So he also know that I was visiting this factory. So I told him that they offered us a new brand, and I invite him to return to Colombia and start importing tires. So that's how we start in this business. That was around 2011, 2012, very young, very naive. And we start importing tires and learning about the industry. So that's how I get into this industry.
And how did the tire importing business go?
At the beginning was really good. We started to grow. We used to sell $4 to $6 million per year. It was around 4 to 6 containers per month. We learned a lot about the industry. It's a very stingy industry. They don't pay good salaries. That's the reason the digitalization is quite slow in the transportation businesses and more in maintenance and more regarding with tires. Also, it's a very corrupted industry. The drivers used to switch one new tire for an old one, and also procurement teams or maintenance teams receive fees or commissions from the tire manufacturers. So we learn about this. But the biggest learning is that we used to have two channels. One was dealers. With dealers, we have like a network of dealers of 24 dealers. They were not the biggest one, but they were all around Colombia. And we give a lot of service to the technicians, to the tire technicians, give uniforms, lunch, and they convince like the independent driver to purchase our tire. But the other channel was fleet. And with fleet, we start to give a lot of service to our clients. We start measuring their tires. We start using all their tire management solutions. And with one urban bus fleet in Bogota, we start to see that the tires that were out faster were the ones that were very close to the doors. So we start to asking the client and asking ourselves why we didn't know that answer. So by seeing the operation, we start to seeing that more of the people inside the bus is located close to the doors because they want to get in and get out faster. So more people, more weight, those tires were out faster. So that was like a very big aha moment for us. We start to suggesting a different maintenance routine, taking into account this, and tires start to last longer. So at that moment, we realized that tire behaves as an optimization problem. So that was like the big aha moment. But answering your question, we were doing good. At that moment, we were not so ambitious. We were very like we were feeling good about what we were doing, but we were not happy with with the potential we have at that moment. But we used to sold around, as I told you, $4 to $6 million on tires. That's quite few or small regarding the quantity of tires that clients and fleets purchase in an annual basis.
And so you had identified the problem from an early stage, then why not stay just in that business in Bogota?
Andres, we were very
Found a niche.
Yeah, we found a niche, but we didn't do anything. We talk about the problem with our clients, with the stakeholders, but we were comfortable doing what we were doing. Most of the money we had was based on US dollar debt with banks, and because of the oil crisis, there was a big devaluation 2015, 2016. So we lose almost $1 per dollar we have in debt. So we get almost out of cash, and at that moment, when we were very uncomfortable and almost out of cash, we decided to launch Ruedata. We see that there was an opportunity like to create a software company, a tech company that could redefine all the industry, creating solutions, data-driven solutions, as the industry is very inefficient taking their decisions. So when we close that company and we get out of cash, we were uncomfortable, and at that moment we have the guts to launch Ruedata. Very naive again, with not so many experience in the tech industry, busy as well, but at that moment we were ready. So, and maybe was the best timing because right now we are more mature as we were before. So I think as we started in the industry, serendipity, also a lot of serendipity with the timing, because right now I think we were more prepared to solve this issue and redefine all the tire industry worldwide as we were before at that moment that we have that insight.
How long did that? Can you tell me more about the thought process from saying, okay, let's close this company out, take the risk of starting a new one?
Almost immediately, Andres.
Was it one conversation, a few months of thinking about it? How did that go?
I think we start thinking about this when we were closing the other company. So I was almost immediately. And also we were like discussing with clients that our plan was to start serving them right now with tech solutions and not with selling tires. So it was almost immediately very stubborn, I think so. We were trying to solve things without not thinking so much because right now was not the best decision. Not many cash, losing what we have, what you have built, and keep working in the same industry was not the best answer. But maybe we were quite stubborn and we knew that there was something big behind that.
Can you elaborate on that? Why was it not the best decision?
Because we were like 5 or 6 years working in an industry that give us so much, but also take out everything we have built in that industry. We lose almost everything. Most of our clients didn't pay us the receivables we had because they knew that we were getting out of cash and closing that company. So uh, that was not really good for us. And the easiest thing maybe was to go to looking for a job within a corporation, as some of our friends were
Mm-hmm.
doing really good at that moment. So I think for that reason was not the best decision, but right now I think was the best because right now we're an experts in the industry worldwide. There's few people working in this industry with the insights we have with different markets working in the industry, but being an entrepreneur because we didn't work directly with any tire manufacturer or tire retreater. We were like an outsider inside the industry and learning a lot. So right now, I think that the experience and that knowledge is the one that is helping us to solve the problems the industry is having by a different perspective.
So getting to that, how would you describe in the most simple terms, what does Ruedata do? How does the solution of Ruedata address this inefficiency problem you
Oh,
mentioned?
okay, so what we do is we help transportation fleets to reduce their tire cost and reducing also carbon footprint emission by offering data-driven solutions. As I told you, our main product is the software, the SaaS. We use optimization algorithms, and with that, we help our clients to enhance their maintenance, to purchase the right tire, detect mechanical failures, and they reduce their tire cost. But one pass before that, right now, we are more aware about the problem, and the problem is bigger than we thought. Why? Why? We start to realize that there are more than 1.5 billion tires discarded annually. That's quite the many tires discarded annually. And most of this is because the inefficiencies the fleet operators has because not having a really good solution to extend the life of a tire, retread or recycle tires, and purchase few new tires. So the problem is even bigger, and with our SaaS solution, as what we are doing, we're helping them to reduce the tire cost. But our mission is to create a tire ecosystem that helps our clients to do the best maintenance, purchase the right tire, and also help them to purchase and have different solutions to make this process easier.
Apart from the fact that, yeah, you mentioned you have been involved in the business many years before, any other reason why solving this problem, and now that you know the problem is bigger than you thought at the beginning, is especially important for you?
Right now, it's like I maybe Sego, but I want to redefine the tire industry worldwide. I want to be part of it. Maybe we have to associate with someone else, but we want to do it. That was not part of the plan, but right now it's the plan. It's the plan A, B, and C. So we want to change the status quo, and also we're pretty happy that we can change the status quo starting in Latin America.
And in that journey, so can you describe, please, where is Ruedata now in terms of growth, of stage, and the view for the next, say, 5 years?
Yes, Andres, sure. So right now we are serving around 42,000 vehicles are using our solution, mainly in Mexico and Brazil. However, we have clients in all Latin America. Right now, we are targeting big fleets or big enterprises that owns a fleet. So working with cement industry, with food industry, with beverage industry, with security industry, and also working with big transportation fleets. Why? Because these kind of companies are looking for technology to optimize their cost, and they are aware about this. Small companies, small medium businesses, they are not aware of this and they don't want to invest in technology. But the big fleets, yes, and they also want to reduce their carbon footprint emissions. So this is what we are doing right now. For the next years, we want to be a global company and we want to keep working with the same clients we are working right now. With them, there are global enterprises. So right now, some of them we are serving in more than 3 countries. So and they are looking to use our solution also in other countries outside Latam. So in the next 5 years, we expect to be serving more than 1 million vehicles and at least working in all the Americas and maybe some countries in Europe, Africa, and Asia with our current clients.
Fantastic. Uh, that growth from Latin America onto, at least you said, all the Americas. What would be your advice to other entrepreneurs? Could be early stage, could be a bit later, but that have stayed in Latin America or had challenges in that expansion outside of the region.
So
Any
this is
advice you would give them or that you would give to your younger self
maybe more
for
being
that
being
matter?
being more ambitious. Right now we have the confidence that we can do it. For example, we start operations in Brazil without having so much money, without speaking Portuguese. And right now we have a really good country manager. He's also a co-founder of the company. He used to lead one of the biggest fleet in Latin America, and he's the one who is leading the operation in Brazil. So being ambitious, right now we have the confidence that if we can do that, we can do it that also worldwide. And we're very fortunately that tires behaves the same in all the world. So the same tires problem is in the US, in Europe, in Asia, and we already knew that because our clients are the ones who are letting us know that they have the same problem. So it's like we in the company we say that tires is an universal language. So being more ambitious, also being more naive, because when we're naive, we think that we can do things, and when you think that you can do things, things probably happen, so get things done. So being ambitious and being close to the industry leaders that they have the knowledge and they can help you to make better decisions, but ambitious.
You spoke about ambition. You also spoke about persistence at the
Okay,
beginning.
yeah,
You
persistence. Yeah, for
once
sure.
I believe you told me
Resilience, I think so.
about you told me about what it feels like to be clicking on or calling someone every 5 minutes or 30 seconds to get a purchase order, for example. Can you elaborate on that? Was it 5 minutes? What was that example? You
No,
gave
for
it to
example,
me. Hmm?
no, okay, so when we got the first brand and we got the distribution was because we insist for 7 months, maybe calling them each 15 days, each 2 weeks, visiting them once each 2 months, having dinners with them, just insisting and being resilient and persistence. I think is a superpower. And at that moment, we were not aware about this superpower, but that helped us to represent a big brand without having so much money out. I was 21 years old at that moment. But resilience and persistence is very important as starting new markets. For example, when we get into Mexico, the first year we don't have any sales, any billing. But after that year, right now, Mexico represents more than 80% of our revenue. So being persistent, being resilient is something very important, even though the most important value in our company is being resilient. Why? Because all of us are very resilient, all of us have many challenges, and we have to know that even though it's very hard and we can struggle a lot, we can achieve what the milestones we propose.
What has been one of the specific cases you faced where resilience was
So no, mainly
elemental?
in the company, there's like 3 or 4 moments when we get almost out of cash and we have to ask for help, but we have like runway for 15 days or something like that. So, but we keep
Can you
working.
elaborate on one of them? The first,
Yeah. The first one was a pretty good one because I have a very big learning with that. We were at that moment being accelerated by 500. We just arrived to Mexico, and we make a big bet to close some big companies, and that big bet this didn't work. So we get almost out of cash, and we have to ask for help for our first investors. And at that moment was really good because our investors, like, they were pretty happy to hear this bad news. They help us, they give us money, but also we create a board of advisors. At that moment was COVID moment, so we have meetings each week of the board. So we meet each Friday, like almost 2 hours for almost 1 year and a half. Imagine that you have to move something because you have to show different news at the next week. So it was a really good moment because also help us to be more accountable, to work faster with pressure, and also that moment teach us to ask for help, and people is willing to help you always.
you told me once, if you would like this, where do you believe comes some of the source of this persistence? You told me once you were religious, for example.
Yeah.
Do you think that's connected or
I
any
think
other?
no, the main thing is that I came from a entrepreneurial family. My dad is he has really good moments, but also we live the bad moments when he had to solve everything to pay the debts. He went to my school and talked with the owner that he doesn't have enough money to pay my school, but the owner was really good because he told my dad, like, you are the first one who came here and says to that, so pay me whatever you want, but your son will be in the same school. So, and I was in that meeting. So there's many things about in family that helped me, but also being a CEO or having a startup and try to define an industry is quite hard. And having God also helping me a lot. I'm very religious. I will go to the church 2 days a week, and also I ask God for help, and in some and so some of the things I'm not able to solve it, I ask him for the help, and I'm pretty sure he's helping me. So also that helps me a lot because I'm not the only one who is solving this issue. I have God, and God is the owner of everything. So it's like cheating, but that helps me.
Fantastic. Great that you have God on your side, Sebastián. One last question. For investors that are looking at Latin America as a market, especially related to climate or heavy industries, such as yourself, or investors that are in Latin America looking at this space but haven't really got involved yet, any message you would send out to them?
Yes, that there's big opportunities here. One big good issue is that few competitors, so it's easier. Even though markets are very big, there are few players uh, working in this kind of industry. So big opportunity, big opportunity. Really hard. Maybe it's slower as in other industries because we have to educate the industry, but very excited because there's like we are creating like a blue oceans in this kind of industries. And another thing is working with people who understand the industry, who could help us, as you, Andres and Savia, that you have the knowledge about the climate. Also, you have the knowledge about enterprises in the US, and many things that is happening in the US and Europe, talking related to climate, they're coming to Latin America. So having this experience close to us is helping us to help also our clients and educate them that they have to invest in solutions to reduce their costs and also reduce their carbon emissions.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sebastián, for your time and the trust put on Savia. It's been great to work with Ruedata, and we look forward to seeing you keep growing.
No,
So
thanks.
thank you.
We want to be your best portfolio company, so we are working on that, and we know that we can do it. Thank you for the opportunity
Absolutely.
to work together.